I am sure this is gonna be a massive win for the modern audience. Fable is gonna sell tens, not millions, not thousands, but tens of copies guaranteed. Yeah, the situation with Fable is bad. And the craziest thing is, it manages to get worse. At this point, we almost know everything about the game, everything about the studio that makes it, everything about the people who are saying that this is gonna be great. And yet, every single time some new detail gets shown, it just makes it look so unbelievably worse. And that's what we got here today, boys. It's new details about this. So, first of all, we know its price 70 euros, $70 or $80, whatever. It's overpriced and everyone knows it. No one's gonna buy it just because of this price. Well, there's actually an asterisk there because we're gonna talk about the sales a little bit later. We're gonna go through some other interesting information. But the sales may actually shock you what I think Fable is gonna do in numbers. That's right. It's gonna be pretty interesting, and I think it's gonna be on point. But in any case, easiest $70 of my life saved, okay? Easy. Completely wallet closed, and I am absolutely, without a doubt, non binary. The bravest, by the way. I want you to understand how brave I am because I'm non binary. Anyway, if you know, you know. Yeah, it's not looking good. We have the newest information about Fable. And that is the fact that a Fable's Collector Edition has sold out. That's right, it has sold out. And this is not your typical meme of, premium editions or standard edition pre orders. And a friendly reminder, never pre order. It's an online product. You can buy it any day, it's not gonna run out. And the collector's edition is interesting because it's actually a thing that has, physical things in it. And let's just look at it for fun. Let's see what's the magical value proposition that we're working here, boys. Okay, so we pre-ordered it in the official Fable site. You click the pre-order wherever you want to get it, and then here it is, boys. And this thing has started such a wave of absolute hope for the modern audience. It's beautiful. So this is what you get for $200. And by the way, scalpers are already reselling it for $800 because, obviously, though this is just going to be one of those situations where scalpers take the hard L because who's going to buy this? And this is, I think, very telling because the thing that you get is an actual statue of a character that's from the old games that people actually like. They're not trying to sell you the new current heroine or anything like that. They're actually giving you a character that people kind of adore and like, which is a giveaway how bad things truly are. But in any case, what can we get in this absolutely magical thing? Well, you can get the physical collectibles, which for some reason is named as an item that you get, which is strange. Jack of Blades statuette, which is the biggest appeal of this, obviously, even though you can probably get this on some kind of figurine place and it's better for cheaper. Hardcover art book. That's what they start, by the way, because obviously physical doesn't mean that there's actually a physical game there. Collectible steel book case. It's garbage. Custom hero guild steel pen. I love pin. I love how every single one of these collectible money grab shits has a pin in it. I love it. Every single one has a pin or a sticker or some other gunk in it. It's just amazing. Early access play up to 5 days before launch. I don't know how this is a part of the collector's edition that you get here, but I guess it is. Full game, okay, but the digital code, the full game, digital code, boys, you're getting the game. So this is technically better than Bethesda. Unironically better than Bethesda because it actually has the game in the bundle. Bethesda sold, I think it was Fallout that they sold without the game. Oh my god. Fable Premium Edition Content Pack, Fable Order of Heroes expansion coming post-launch. We're gonna see about that one. Fable Digital Art Book and Soundtrack. If this game took them 12 years to make, I wonder how long is it gonna take for them to make the expansion at this point. But in any case, it's a pretty meek value proposition if anyone's obviously asking. And this thing, and you could have done the Fable pre-orders since June 7th. This is the juicy bit, okay? It's not about how fucking bad the collector's edition is, obviously. All these gaming collector editions are bad value proposition for your money. But what matters here is, again, the fact that you could pre-order from June 7th this year, and the official Fable announcement that it's out, the collector's edition is out of stock, is June 23rd. And this is insane, okay? It took them three whole weeks to sell out the collector's edition. And this is, again, keep in mind, scalping. That is not a good sign. That is not a good sign of people actually fanning and buying your product. I bet like 90% of the people who bought this, by the way, are British, obviously. Oh yeah, if Fable burns, Britain burns faster. That's the take. Faster. It's already burning. But in any case, we have some great stuff. And there is one extremely amazing cope post right here. People say it was up for 3 weeks. You effing idiots. It wasn't 95% of the time. All of them were sold out. It's only 3 weeks for them to finally say it's sold out. Bro, what do you mean? Why would they only say it's sold out now? If it was sold out all the time. Also, I'm actually not seeing anyone make this point, so this is just defense before it happens, so that's kind of funny. And they're literally saying, by the way, notify when available, which means it kind of implies it's going to be available again at some point. So, posts like this seem a lot of cope to me, honestly. Okay? And by the way, yes, it is very bad that it took 3 weeks to sell out. And again, if it's sold out previously, why are they only now officially posting that it is sold out? That's kind of strange. You know, if you ask me, that's kind of seems a little bit strange. But in any case, the situation is not great because, as you can see, there's no post that it had sold out previously. Okay, it's just right here. This is the newest post, and this is the June 7th post about the pre-order thing that you can get it. And I want you to actually notice how many views there are for Fable posts because this matters, okay? We're gonna start to predict the numbers that we're gonna see on Fable, okay? I have talked about this a lot. The Fable posts are getting crazy interaction numbers: 2.5 million, 1.2 million, 200, 100. A lot of their posts are literally getting like 2 or 3 million views when it's actually on point about what's happening. It's pretty crazy. So there's a lot of interest in Fable just in general. You can buy it also on, you can buy it on all platforms at this point. It's not some kind of exclusive. It somehow has already an, I think this is a user score of 4.5 out of 5. Xbox, what a shit show. And I want you to actually think about the numbers, right? We have the Gothic 1 remake, which people are actually liking. It's pretty good, and it did pretty well, okay? It had 77.7, good number for some reason. Peak players 17 days ago when it launched, okay? And as you can see, people played it a lot. This thing did not die in a day. This thing did not die in 12 hours, which we have seen games literally died. I mean, Avowed, Concord, Highguard died in 2 days, okay? But you get the point. There are so many modern games that have just literally died in a matter of hours and days, and Gothic did amazingly. It's still actually doing really good. Now, granted, it's been almost a month and it's almost at losing 50% of its player base, but it's still good, okay? No one expected Gothic to succeed this much, so I guess Poland is safe. Because, yeah, the future of Poland kind of was depending on the success of Gothic. They're really into the game, okay? Poland, represent in the comments, Lamau. Then we have, but I don't remember how much this costs, but I don't think this was $80. Then we had Marathon, and Marathon's insane, okay? I wanted to make a video yesterday about this because I thought that it's 100% going to go under 10k. And by the way, this is one of the rarest events in history. Look at this. 1 a.m. and 2 a.m. yesterday. Actually, this is Monday, so 2 days ago. Peak player count is the same. I'm pretty sure there's something fishy going around here because Marathon is somehow always magically just not slipping past 10k players, and it's kind of insane, okay? Because Marathon's numbers were all predictable. I predicted them pretty much in, a rough equivalent of 5 to 10% most of the time. Sometimes even way closer to like 100 difference when it was right here, okay, in this sector. And everything here now is complete unpredictability, and I have no idea how any of this is possible. So it kind of looks sus. But Marathon started off with $90 and it was $10 cheaper than fucking Fable, okay? Yeah, that is kind of a big thing, by the way. Then we had Highquad, and Highquad was free to play and scored actually slightly bigger impressions on Twitter and everywhere, and it had 100k people play it peak when it launched. Now, needless to say, it's dead. I don't know how 3 people are still in it, but Lamau. And, Highquad died in something like literally 2 days, I think. No, not 2 days, but 12 hours. People were quitting the game in 6 hours. People were quitting after not even finishing the tutorial. It was hilarious. But this thing got 100k. And there's also Dragon Age Railguard that had like 83k. And what I'm getting is here, if we're judging by the interactions that Fable is getting on all these platforms, we can slowly start to create a feel for how much there's gonna be, okay? And by the way, keep in mind, Fable was in the oven for 12 or 13 years at this point, something like that. It's ridiculous. Fable has costed so much money, it seems stupid to cancel it because you have already spent too much money on it. Like, we are talking about a development cost that has changed hands like 3 times or something at this point. And I don't even know how much Fable costs, but it's probably easily above 300 mil. Okay, that's my estimate. Says the guy who has been proven right about all of these things for months on end at this point, by the way. But, it just happens. It's just luck, as people say. I'm just an idiot who always gets lucky, It's just, I say this, it happens, and it's like, I'm just lucky. It happens, boys. Don't worry about it. Anyway, Fable is going to be ridiculously expensive for the woeful quality that it's exceeding. Probably even more expensive now because, yeah, the walk that I showed you previously was in response to the backlash that you can't pick the character that you want, and it was only the girl initially. They got scared and created a male character on the same wireframe as the girl, and that's why you have the infamous guy walk. Okay? It wasn't good. And, now they're delaying it to next year, so I think it's brave that they're delaying Fable to next year, because if they launched at the same time as GTA 6, at least they had an excuse. Oh, we launched when GTA 6 was launching! That's why 5 people played the game. But the reality is, at this point, from everything I have seen, from the interactions to the everything, I'm feeling like I'm finally comfortable enough to actually do a prediction how many players Fable's gonna have. And if I wanted to go the true analyst route, I would do this. I would say from 5k to 100k, because that's the analyst way of doing things, and that's probably gonna be correct. But if I ever do that, I want you to call me afraid a loser in the comments, because I deserve it, boys. The day I do something like that, the day I choose something as weak, as a range from 0 to 100, that's when I have lost it. So obviously no. I do think that there's like a 90% chance that Fable is gonna sell in the range of 60 to 100, not sell, but have a peak player base on launch between 60 and 100k players. I think it's gonna be on the lower side, not the higher side. Maybe 80 seems max. Fable does seem to go in line with things like, for example, Marathon or Dragon Age Veilguard. And again, even the Gothic 1 remake, which is the kind of dark horse thing here is, because people didn't talk about it hugely. It wasn't spread around that much, but it has a loyal following, which is Fable style. But Gothic did not have a bad rep before the remake launched. Fable does. So if it was in the same situation as, for example, Gothic, where the reputation is not damaged, it would probably do similar numbers or even higher because people would know about it. But since Fable is unanimously hated by people, I think it's going to be on the lower side. Obviously, some people are going to buy it no matter what and things like that. But yeah. And I think there is the Black Swan event that Fable has something like 10 to 20k concurrent players, and I think that's like a 10% chance, okay? I think it's possible, but it doesn't look like it. It just looks like the amount of people, the crazy amount of people that are just interested in Fable in general is so high that the numbers are going to be elevated no matter what. But I would like to remind you, again, this thing was 12 years in the making. Fable, not Gothic. This thing was 12 years in the making. For $80, what was it, 70? Whatever, I'm not paying it. $70, 100k concurrent players. Even if it gets 100k concurrent players, by the way, it's just a lot of hype, which means it probably hasn't sold 1 million copies on release. So 70 times 1 million, but it's gonna be lower than 1 million. That is just 70 million, okay? That's my expectations. That would be 70 million. Again, there's no way that this thing is below, even at the best case estimate, below 250 million in production costs. No way. No way. So, best case scenario, they get like 70 million on release, and after that, people just start releasing countless videos about how bad Fable is, because we know it's gonna be bad. The combat looks ass, everything about this game is just kind of bad. So people are not gonna buy it. Their hit is gonna be day one, sold 1 million copies. In 4 days, it's probably gonna be 2 million. It's probably gonna be a 007 situation. And then they're never gonna say, oh, we actually sold 3 million copies. It's not happening. Not happening. So yeah, Fable is gonna crash and burn. That's 100%. I don't think there's anything that can actually be changed at this point, because it's just, the whole core is rotten. I mean, look at this picture, Jesus. Anyway, have a nice day. Bye.